I recently upgraded from a Canon SX730 to a Canon SX740, and I thought I would share some of the details on that with you because it was, should you upgrade, shouldn't you upgrade? What does one camera offer over the other? Both of these cameras use the same battery. I got this little container at the container store, and it's pretty good for carrying the batteries in. So they both use this Canon battery, and I use a lot of batteries, so I went for this one, which I purchased off of Amazon. I have several, and that's good because as you upgrade from one camera to another, you don't have to buy a different battery charger, you don't have to buy a different battery. You can use your existing batteries. So what I do is I put these batteries in the case with the contacts both facing one way, and as the battery is empty, I just turn it around the other way, and I have this labeled recharge down here, so I know that the batteries are good and which need to be recharged when I'm out in the field. And I carry a lot of these batteries. Okay, but the cameras themselves are basically the same camera. In my opinion, the major changes are in the software. Now, color, that's a personal choice. I think the silver one looks kind of elegant, but the black one appeals to me quite a bit. So the black one is a Canon SX730. I just thought I would try silver. The silver one is a Canon SX740. All the controls are the same. The cameras have the same features physically. They have the flip-up display and all that. Now, for me, the major change is in the menuing. This one, when you want to do something with this camera, you really need to get into some of the menuing and drill down a ways, is what I would say. You need to drill into the camera, and things are not quite as accessible to me as they are with the Canon SX740. So on the 740, the first thing I noticed was that the battery's dead. So with the Canon SX740, when you turn it on, the first thing I noticed was that the menuing was a lot different, and you can pick a lot of different options right from here. If you want to change the autofocus, you can change that. The spot metering, you can just go down here and change the spot metering here. Okay, I'll pick that. I can just quickly toggle and change the metering. Now this is a lot different than on the 730. The 730 you have to drill into other menus, like right here, right on the screen. It's a little easier. The white balance, all those things, and you can make this screen appear if you wanted to. So for spot metering, you have your choices down here, and you can just toggle through them for metering. And it's like that with all the other choices they have here. The ISO, average white balance, white balancing. You can change a lot of these things right from this menu. And it really pays to spend a lot of time with this camera and learn the menuing. So I have mine set for autofocus here. It'll autofocus on this one little spot in the middle, and it'll lock onto that once I do it, and then it will follow. It will follow that spot. This is a pretty handy metering capability. So in case you haven't guessed, I like the 740 a little better than the 730. One of the major features for me, and I can't go through them all for you, but one of the major features is this camera will do time-lapse photography, which the other camera will not. The SX730 does not do time-lapse photography. So let me try and find spot metering here. It's not on this quick oh, here it is. It's up here, and you would have to go down. So they cleaned up the menuing a little bit. If you use the cameras a lot, it's probably going to be transparent to you. But if you're new and you want quicker access, I think that the 740 has a slight advantage. and I just find the interface easier to use. This camera has some features that are not on the 740. You can do edging. Edging is it shows you what's in focus and what is not. It gives you like a little red display. You can see my other videos on that. The 740 does not have that. They took it out, and well, that's life. And I don't really miss it, I'll tell you the truth. I like both cameras. I'm still using the 730 quite a bit. While I don't abuse my cameras, the 730 has been through a lot. There's dents and dings on it I had to pull out because the lens wasn't opening correctly. I really try to take care of my equipment, but I use it. I use it out in the field. If you want to see these cameras in action, I have videos on this channel, and I have videos on the Cosmo Weems channel, COSMO space WEEMS. You can do a search on that, and you'll see these cameras out in the field working their rear ends off. So I just thought I'd mention those few things because it's a little confusing when a new camera comes out if you're not familiar with them on what you're getting and what's needed. Next time around I'd probably go for a black camera, you know, when the next generation comes. The major weakness of this camera, in my opinion, is night photography. It's terrible at that. It just cannot photograph stars. You know, you have time-lapse photography, so you like to get the stars going across the sky, and this camera cannot do it. It just does not photograph stars in darkness. It does a lot of other things really well. That super zoom is just fantastic. I use it all the time, and it's good for vlogging. It's good for a lot of things. You know, there's many choices out there, but not too many choices with a lens like this that'll go out to like 900 millimeters. If you do any kind of wildlife photography, it's good for that. If you want to take a full frame of the moon, it's good for that. You can do some pretty good things. It's good at all of them. I wouldn't say it's great at any of them, but nice cameras, especially at a good price. These cameras typically go for about $400, maybe a little less, $375, depending what time of the year you buy it. You know, you can see there's a progression here between the 730 and the 740, SX730 and SX740. So I would be pretty sure at the end of this year, beginning of next year, we're going to see another version come out. And that version, you know, let's hope it has night photography, because this one's not too good at night photography. If you're getting a case for these, I'll just show what I'm using. It's not necessarily a recommendation. Everybody's needs are different. But I have this case. It fits the camera very well. It's padded. So it also has a pocket in the front, which I keep a spare battery or two in there. The case comes with a neck strap. You can put a strap around your neck and it will clip onto this D-ring and it'll hang. I'll tell you one thing that I did. Since I am out banging around, I put a plastic card. It's a hotel card, you know, a hotel unlock card for... You know, I put that here inside the case. And what that does is it prevents the battery from pressing directly on the lens. It spreads out the forces. Here. If you, you know, there is not much padding. There is padding, but not much between the battery pocket and the camera pocket. So, you know, this would be pressing up against here. Now, with this card in here, it's my belief that this spreads out the forces across the lens housing, and it's a little easier on the camera. So all I do is take one of these hotel key plastic cards. In this case it's a Marriott card, but it can be any card, and put it in here. And in my opinion, that protects the lens from the battery floating around in there. And it stops it from maybe getting at an angle and pressing on these leaf shutter here. So there you go. That's my tip of the day. Enjoy your camera. Photography's fun.